Away from France, the number of COVID-19 deaths in Brazil has hit 6,000, surpassing that of China. That toll comes despite the President Jair Bolsonaro playing down the virus and comparing it to a common cold. Last month, Brazil's health minister resigned over his handling of the crisis. Bolsonaro is now having to deal with another resignation, that of his influential justice minister. Well, let's get you the very latest on this. France 24's Foreign Affairs editor, Philip Turle, joins us. Philip, firstly, hello to you. Could the Brazilian president's handling of the COVID-19 outbreak end up costing him his presidency?
Well, one thing is for sure, the way that President Bolsonaro has handled this up to today can be described at the best as surrealistic, because he has constantly denied the importance of COVID-19, the threat it poses to society in Brazil, has said he's against social distancing and that the country should just get back to normal, and he can't allow what he has described basically as the sniffles to intervene to upset the economy. Now, of course, this is completely in contradiction to the health minister, Luiz Mandetta, who resigned last month as a result of conflict with the president over the way the country was handling the COVID-19 outbreak. You said just in your introduction that 6,000 people have now died in the country, 6,006 to be exact. This week saw a major increase in the number of casualties in Brazil, 264 people dying in one day. And during a press conference, the president was asked what his reaction was to that. And he simply just replied, well, what do you expect me to do? And so what? Which is certainly, I think, not what a lot of Brazilians would like to hear from the man leading the country. So out went the health minister. A new health minister has been brought in, but he is seen as being much more friendly towards the president than the outgoing health minister. He's in favor of lifting the measures of social distancing to get the country back to work. So now we have this battle which is declared between the governors of the different regions of Brazil, who are keen to keep the social distancing measures in place, and the president, who is quite clearly against those measures.
I mean, Philip, staying with the president, it has to be said he's been weakened by the resignation of his hugely popular Justice Minister, Sergio Moro. How much of a blow is this?
Well, Sergio Moro was a close associate of the head of the police in Brazil, and the president has also fired the police chief following investigations into his three sons who were accused of corruption and money laundering, and two of the sons of organising a vast fake news organisation to call for anti-democratic protests, some of which the president himself have attended. The police chief had launched an investigation into that. He was fired as a result of it. And so Sergio Moro stood down in support of the police chief, who was one of his allies. This, I think, is a much bigger blow to the Brazilian president, because Sergio Moro was seen as a sort of clean hands, a corruption fighter who was brought in to the government once Jair Bolsonaro was elected at the beginning of 2019, and was seen as the man who was going to go ahead with all the claims of Bolsonaro to clean up society in Brazil and to make it less corrupt. The fact that he has now gone has severely weakened the president, and many people are now asking whether or not there is sufficient grounds to launch impeachment proceedings. The support for the president has fallen. He has about 25% of hardline supporters who are still backing him, but there are increasing demands that maybe impeachment could be a path to be taken. There are elections coming up later this year, local elections in Brazil. If support falls further for President Bolsonaro in those elections, then that might open the door to those impeachment proceedings taking place.
All right, Philip Turle, our Foreign Affairs editor, for now. Thank you. Well, staying in Brazil.